So, as I previously reported, TMZ had put out a story saying that Margeaux and her girlfriend Merike are no longer on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So, when season 5 comes, which I'm pretty sure should be in around May of 2016, they won't be on the show. So, some people want to know, well, why won't they be on the show? You know, what the hell happened? You know, it just seemed like a sudden thing. So, I'm going to read you what TMZ had to say about it now, because they actually caught up with Margeaux and her girlfriend, and they talked to them briefly out in the streets. Okay, so TMZ wrote, and I quote, "Now, for the record, if you want to see that video, click the link below, visit my blog, and it's right there for you on this article. If you can't find the link, let me know in the comment section. I'll give it to you, or somebody else will give it to you." So what TMZ wrote was, and I quote, "Former Love and Hip Hop Atlanta stars Margeaux and Merike think they got the boot because producers have a thing against gays." Pause the story right there. They had Erica Mena and Cynthia Santana from Love and Hip Hop New York season 4, which was the first gay couple, which was a lesbian couple. Then on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood season 2, they had Miles and Milan, 2 men, a gay male couple. So they've already done this before. Plus, Miles was kind of on and off or whatever with Amber on the side, so he was technically bisexual. So they've had bisexual men and gay men and lesbians and whatnot. So that right there sounds ridiculous. Anyway, the story goes on to say they think they got the boot because producers have a thing against gays. The girlfriends were doing date night at Nobo and WeHo, and they groused that producers were sketchy as to why they were given their walking papers and whether there's a sinister move afoot to keep them from doing another reality show. When you listen to them, it sounds like this is more than a fling, way more. End of the story. But here's the thing, though. Why would the producers have any sort of issue with them doing another reality TV show? Why would it matter to them? Especially if they're trying to kick them off the show. I seriously highly doubt their gay relationship had anything to do with them leaving the show. I think that they don't really value Margeaux on the show, because you got to think about it like this. When it comes to TV shows like this, one of the things that will keep you on the show and keep you as one of the higher paid people is whether or not people like you, hate you, whatever, want to see you. People don't really hate Margeaux enough or like Margeaux enough. She's pretty much neutral. The people who hate her are kind of like, fuck Margeaux. And the people who like Margeaux are pretty much like, yeah, we love Margeaux, but it's not that many people. So it's like, you have to have enough people to think that you're just this uber villain. Like, what was it, Johnny Fairplay on Survivor? He had enough people hate him, like when he told that lie about, oh, his grandmother just died or whatever on a reality TV show. To keep you around, you have to be like a super villain, or you got to be a hero. You got to be liked or hated enough. Like Nico, for example, Margaux's husband, ex-husband, whatever. Nico Smith is so hated that they can afford to keep him on the show, because it's like, I mean, when people see him, they cringe. They're like, oh, there goes that douchebag, that dirtbag Nico. You know, he's always getting thrown under the bus and blamed for everything. So he'll probably get blamed for this too. They'll probably say that he ate some female producer's coochie and her booty and convinced her to get rid of Margeaux as a way to pay her back for leaving him for a woman. That's probably what people are going to say. I mean, think about it. Nico really gets blamed for everything. That dude is like, he's like the villain that just can't come back from being a villain. You know, he's the Joker of the show. People see him, they're just like, oh, there goes that fucking Nico. But then again, you know, you can be a lovable villain like Jocelyn Hernandez. Everybody knows that Jocelyn Hernandez is just the worst, but people still love her. And she's, I guess, an identifiable villain. Margeaux is way too neutral. If Margeaux would have been way more catty and crazy and gotten to the right beats with the right people, or if she would have made herself more lovable. Like, for example, when Margeaux, Marlo's from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You see how I get these people mixed up? Anyway, Margeaux, when I first saw her, I really liked her on the show. Then she started acting real crazy, and I started to not really like her so much. And I was like, well, what the hell's going on here? Like, are these her true colors? Who was she beefing with? Was it Rashida? Was it Jocelyn Hernandez? I can't even remember who she was beefing with on the show, which is crazy. But that just goes to show you that Margeaux was, in no offense, but somewhat a forgettable character. The one thing that I took away from Margeaux being on the show was I loved that song that she had, Fight a War or something, Start a War, whatever it was called. I was like, wow, that's a really hot record. The beat was dope, and the way she was singing it, it was just like something refreshing. As soon as it came on, it hit me like, oh, okay, this shit is hot. Like, she's a real musician. This isn't somebody that they just, stuck on the show who learned how to sing yesterday and they started singing or rapping or whatever for a storyline. Like, this is somebody who is passionate about music, and she's like really artsy. Even the way that she wore her hair on the show and whatnot, you're like, oh, okay, this is obviously somebody who's a musician. She, quote, looked like a musician. She had the whole look down pat and whatnot. And anyways, all I know is this: I would like to hear more of her music, and she really should have used that as an angle on the show. In my opinion, I think they may have kept her around. It was more about her music. We only heard one song from her. It was hot, no doubt, but I think she should have really, really played up the whole music thing better instead of being these catty beefs. But, because the whole beefy thing is like, you got to be a certain type of person to beef. Jocelyn has that type of personality where, lover or hater, she's a star. That's what she projects. Even though Jocelyn's music sucks, except for the Cootie Cat song. I love that. Stingy with My Cootie Cat with Stevie J. That song was hot. The beat was hot. Anyways, and of course the video was hot. But anyway, let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com for more. Follow me on Twitter @Meat Magazine.